Leo asked me, "Gigi, tell me how to live." I'm 94. Here's the truth I learned. Depression is a liar. I spent years listening to it. Let me tell you what happened. It started with a telegram. Arthur was overseas, missing in action. I was 27. The world went gray. I held our baby Eleanor and felt nothing. The lie whispered, "This is all there is." My neighbor, Mrs. Gable, barged in with soup. I hated her for it, but I ate. She said, "The dishes won't wash themselves." That simple command was a thread. I followed it to the library. Mr. Finn worked there. He slid a book to me, The Secret Garden. "Read it aloud," he said. So I did. My voice filled our apartment. The story was about a garden coming back to life. As I read, I felt a crack in the gray. Arthur came home. He had nightmares. We made a pact. One small thing together every day. Wash one dish. Walk to the mailbox. We did it with each other. We rebuilt our life word by word. Years later, his workshop burned down. He stood in the ashes, broken. I took his hand. I said, "The dishes won't wash themselves." He cried, then laughed. We started over. He died at 80. The grief was a deep blue. The lie returned. "Your work is done," it said. I sat in his chair for a week. My granddaughter Maya brought me sunflower seeds. "Show me," she said. I was angry. But we planted them. My hands in the dirt, her voice beside me. It was purpose. A green shoot grew. Leo fell into his own gray at 16. I put my old copy of The Secret Garden on the table. He ignored it. Then he read it. He started baking burnt cookies. He found his motion. The lie has 3 parts. It says you're alone. It says this is forever. It says nothing matters. You prove it wrong. Find your person. Move. Do one small thing. That's the rebellion. My bed. A phone call. A question. So, your turn. Don't try to beat it forever. That's too big. Today, do one small thing. Do it sadly, but do it. That motion is your declaration. The lie ends here. That motion is your declaration. The lie ends here. You see, I learned that the hard way. After Arthur came home from the war, we had to learn each other all over again. He was quiet in a new way, jumpy. He'd wake up shouting from dreams I couldn't see. My own gray days would creep back, a fog in the morning. We were 2 broken pieces, and we didn't fit like we used to. That's when we made the pact. One small thing together every single day. Not for happiness, for survival. It started with the dishes. The sink was always full. I'd say, "Arthur, one dish." He'd sigh, but he'd stand next to me. We'd wash one plate each. The water was hot. We didn't talk. Then we'd dry them. That was it. Some days that one plate felt like moving a mountain. Other days we'd do two. Then we added walking to the mailbox, just to the end of the drive and back, side by side. Our rule was you couldn't do the thing for the other person. You had to do it with them. It forced us to be present, to be a team again, even in silence. One afternoon, we just sat on the front step. We watched a bird build a nest in the gutter. We didn't speak for 20 minutes. Then he reached over and took my hand. His was rough, mine was cold. He just held it. That was our small thing that day. It was clumsy, it was quiet, but it was a brick. We were building a new foundation, brick by tiny brick. Eleanor grew up in that house with that rhythm. She learned that hard times weren't fixed with big speeches, but with showing up, with washing one dish. Years piled up, good ones. Arthur built a small woodworking shop in the garage. He made Eleanor a rocking horse. He made me a bookshelf for all my novels. That shop was his peace. Then, when Eleanor was 10, it burned, an electrical fire. We woke to the smell of smoke and the sound of sirens. By morning, it was a blackened shell. All his tools, his projects, gone. He stood there in his pajamas, covered in soot, just staring. And I saw it. The light in his eyes went out. The gray was claiming him. The old lie was whispering to him now. This is all there is. My heart froze. I wasn't scared of the lost wood. I was terrified for him. I walked over through the ashes. I took his dirty hand. I didn't know what to say. Then the words just came out. I said, "The dishes won't wash themselves." He turned and looked at me, really looked. His face crumpled. He made a sound, a choked-off sob that turned into a weak laugh. He squeezed my hand so tight it hurt. We got buckets. We started cleaning the mess together. We started from scratch again. That's what our life was built on. Not on never falling, but on always cleaning up the ashes together. That's what our life was built on. Not on never falling, but on always cleaning up the ashes together. And for a long, long time, it worked. We raised Eleanor. We saw Maya born. We grew old in that house with its creaky floors and the bookshelf Arthur built. The gray didn't vanish, but we knew how to push it back. We had our small things, morning coffee on the step, his hand finding mine during a sad movie. It was a good life, a patched together, beautiful life. Then he was 80, and it was a Tuesday again, just like the telegram. He was reading the paper at the kitchen table. He made a small sound, a sigh. I looked over. His head had dropped to his chest, just like that. The hospital was quiet and sunlit. I held his hand as it went cold. The grief wasn't gray this time. It was a deep, heavy blue, a blue so dark it was almost black. I knew how to swim in it. I had the muscles for it now, but I didn't want to. I just wanted to sink. I went home. I sat in his chair by the window. I wrapped myself in his old cardigan. It still smelled like him, sawdust and soap. The lie came back, but it was smarter now. It didn't say, "This is all there is." It said, "Your work is done. Your love is gone. What are you for now?" And I listened. For a week I just sat. I didn't wash a dish. I didn't make my bed. I let the silence win. My granddaughter Maya came over. She was 12. She didn't say she was sorry. She handed me a packet of sunflower seeds. "Papa Arthur said you two grew these. Will you show me?" I looked at her. I felt a hot, sharp anger. How dare she ask me to grow something? How dare the world keep turning? I wanted to scream. But I looked at her face. She had his eyes, that same earnest, quiet look. I took the seeds. My hands shook. We found some old coffee cans. We filled them with dirt from the yard. We poked holes for the seeds. My hands were in the earth, and she was chattering next to me about her school project. I wasn't happy. I was still in that blue, but I was moving. My hands were moving. That was the thread. That stubborn green shoot that came up weeks later, it was a fact. It was proof. Life wasn't asking for my permission. Years passed. The blue faded to a background ache, a familiar weather. Then Leo, my great-grandson, started coming over after school. He was 16, all sharp angles and silence. He'd put on his headphones and disappear. I saw the gray in him. A different shade, but the same lie. I'd try to talk. He'd just nod. One day I was desperate. I put my old copy of The Secret Garden on the table between us. I didn't say a word. He glanced at it. He left it there. A week later, I was pretending to nap in my chair. I saw him pick it up. He turned it over in his hands. He opened it to the first page. He read. He never said a thing about it, but the next week he asked if he could use the oven. He started baking. The kitchen smelled of burned chocolate and hope. He was finding his motion. And watching him, that's when the final piece clicked for me. The full cost of the lie. It wasn't just the sadness. It was the life not lived while you're listening to it. The sunflowers not planted, the books not read, the burnt cookies not baked, the silent meals, the hands not held. I had lost weeks of my life to that gray silence after Arthur's telegram. I had almost lost days after the fire and a week after his death. Leo was losing afternoons, months of his youth. That was the theft. The lie steals your time, your attention, your very motion. And the only way to get it back is to move, however sadly, however badly. You have to move. And that was the theft. The lie steals your time, your attention, your very motion. And the only way to get it back is to move, however sadly, however badly. You have to move. Here's what I learned sitting here at 94. The biggest mistake is waiting for the feeling to change before you move. I was wrong about that for weeks after that telegram. I thought I had to feel better, to act better. But it's the opposite. The action comes first, like a key in a lock. The feeling, even a flicker of it, comes stumbling after, surprised to find the door open. What I should have done sooner, what love and life really required, wasn't grand understanding. It was the mundane. It was Mrs. Gable's soup pot, not her sympathy. It was Mr. Finn's book, not a therapy session. It was Arthur's hand waiting for mine by the sink. We thought we were just washing dishes. We were really building a raft, plank by wet, soapy plank, in the middle of a quiet sea. Don't make my mistake. Don't dismiss the small thing because it feels too small to matter. It's the only thing that ever does. So my advice, especially to those of you who've seen a few decades, who know loss like an old coat, don't perform. Just be there. For yourself first. Your one small thing today is your anchor. Then be there for someone else. Not with a speech. Be a Mrs. Gable. Be inconvenient with your kindness. Bring the soup. Be a Mr. Finn. Hand over the book without a lecture. Or be an Arthur. Stand next to someone at the sink and wash your one plate in solidarity. You don't need to fix their gray. You just need to be a thread they can see, a color in their periphery. You still have time. Maybe not years and years, but you have now, and now is enough. Now is where you plant the seed, read the page, make the call. This isn't about beating something forever. I haven't. The gray still visits sometimes, a familiar, unwelcome guest. But I don't offer it a chair anymore. I'm too busy. I have a bed to make, a daughter to call, a great-grandson to ask about his music. My life is woven from those threads. They've made a tapestry that's warm enough to keep out the chill. That's what I want for you. A tapestry of your own making. So if this old woman's story meant anything to you, do this for me. First, hit that subscribe button. It's a small thing. It tells me you're here, that we're in this together. Turn on notifications too. That way, when I share another story, maybe about Arthur's terrible dancing, or the time Maya and I painted the kitchen a disastrous shade of purple, you'll be there. It's a thread between us. If this helped, give it a like. It's a tiny motion, a nod across the miles. But most importantly, I want you to talk back. Down in the comments, tell me one small thing you'll do today. It can be anything. I will drink a glass of water. I will step outside for 60 seconds. I will text my brother. Just type it. That act of typing it, of declaring it, is your first stone on the path. And if you're feeling brave, share this with one person who might need to hear that the lie is a liar. Maybe they're in their own gray. Maybe they just need to know they're not alone. Lee'll help me set up a simple form linked below. If you have a story of your own about finding your one small thing, I'd love to read it. Truly, we learn from each other. And if you want to hold the story that started it all for me, that old copy of The Secret Garden is still in print. Sometimes borrowing a little hope from a book is the perfect place to start. Remember, the lie ends not with a shout, but with a whisper of motion. With your hand reaching for a dish, a seed, a book. So tell me down below, what will your one small thing be? I'll be reading. I'll be here.